1 2 1 2 1 2 in the place to be, in the spirit of Crush Groove, Beat Street breaking, and every fucking thing else. This is the Black Raspberry Show, and this nigga Sake said, "Yo, you better get your fat ass up out that bed and get down there to that show." I'm like, "Yo, son, I'm tired. I'm feeling weak. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I ain't think that your ass was coming tonight." And that nigga called me and said, "Yo, get your ass down there." Today is Today is May 6th. 2019, and this is the 4th anniversary of my best friend getting killed on the New Jersey Turnpike. He got ran over by a cop car. So this has been kind of an emotional day, and I'm pretty sure that's why Sake didn't want me to stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't keep dwelling on your brother dying the way that he did and shit. But you know, I'm here by myself. I'm hosting this show. You know what I'm saying? I don't got, you know what I'm saying, my partner here. You know, I don't gotta worry about him disagreeing with me or anything. And my man just put that liquor over here, so maybe I could get a little bit more creative by myself. You know what I'm saying? I might even tell him after come sit his ass right here and let me throw him a couple of questions. You know, to stretch it out, because brother got his shows going on, and the show right now can't stop. So the show must keep going on. You know what? There's some subject matter I want to talk about. I'm gonna go August 3rd, one of my hip hop moments. August 3rd, 1995. I was a fucking messenger, and it's the Hip Hop Source Awards. And I remember, no disrespect, MC8, I don't want you to come shooting at me if I make it to LA and some shit like that. I remember seeing you walking through that crowd real fast because them death row niggas was getting out the vans. And this is at the very time that you had beef with DJ Quick. The Murder Was the Case soundtrack is out, and I remember you walking real fast, but you felt the intensity in the air. People didn't really know that, you know, Suge Knight was going at the time to get Tupac out of jail and things like that, but you just felt an energy. Raekwon was promoting the Cuban Links album. You seen Nas, he was walking through the crowd. Like I said, I seen MC8 coming through to get in, and that's when you seen Death Row come in. And that night, that's when Suge Knight said what he said: "All you artists that, you know, you don't want your executive producers singing and dancing in the videos, come to Death Row." And that started some shit that destroyed two big universes and shit. It's like Thanos versus the Hulk, some shit like that. And I've been speaking to some comic book people, and they said that Thanos really couldn't put the beats on the Hulk like that. That's just the movie. But you had two big entities that, you know, that collided, and it's like it kind of changed the way hip hop is today. And it's like, it ain't no disrespect to the youngins, because what I love about the youngins and what I love about y'all Negroes now and you Latinos that's out there now, that's out there in the business, y'all motherfuckers is getting paid more. You're getting paid more than Coogee Rap. You're getting paid more than Ice Cube. You're getting paid more than Snoop Doggy Dogg. Y'all getting paid with the streaming, and especially the producer, because the producer today is creating his beat, and it's not a hip hop sample, so you don't gotta worry about cutting a check all the way over to, you know, to the corporate heads that own the publishing rights to, you know, these masters and these compositions, you know, on, you know, those kind of things. Let me jump to, I had wrote down something. Biggie Smalls, Raekwon. I always throw this shit up when Biggie Smalls, like I say Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die, Raekwon's Cuban Link, Ghostface Killers, Iron Man. Those are them fucking albums that I can just walk inside the house and I can put in. I could just put those albums in and let those albums, you know, just play on out. But which one do I like better? That's kind of a hard pick for me to you know, to pick up on. Let me jump from Raekwon and Biggie Smalls. Let me talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to jail, even if he get impeached. The one thing that y'all have to realize is that a president sits as a king for 4 years. He could get away with a lot of shit, you know. His clan can go to jail, and you see his clan has gone to jail, and they asses is in jail for lying to Congress and getting caught up in their lies. But I guess all those that didn't, you know, turn on Donald Trump, believe me, Donald Trump is gonna give them motherfuckers some pardons. That's just the way that it goes. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that it go. This liquor got me going already. The rent is too damn high. You know, that's a subject with gentrification hitting everywhere. We seen it hit it really hard coming down from Williamsburg, coming all the way down to Bushwick, coming all the way down to Crown Heights, and it's coming to Brownsville. It's like it's there in Brownsville, and it's like one of the things that I always mention, like in Brownsville when I go to the community board meetings, is it's like, what about the motherfuckers, the blacks and the Latinos that been there since the 1970s? And some well-to-do people, whether they black, Latino, or white, just come in and just move us out. It's not the color thing. It's, damn, you got $1 million fucking dollars, and I done survived gangs, and I done survived AIDS, and I done survived the gangs, and you know what I'm saying? Because when we moved into Brownsville, we had a Latino gang on the corner about like 1973, 74, 75, 76. It was a Latino gang, along with the Jolly Stompers and the Black Spades and all that other thing like that. And it's just kind of it's kind of fucked up that the people in the hood, the neighborhood, I don't want to say it like that, is not the ones that get first dibs when they knock down these buildings and they rebuild these buildings and they say low income housing for the people, and you knock down a whole project up there coming down Saratoga, Prospect Plaza. It's like you knocked the whole thing down and you gave promise to those people that, you know, well, y'all gonna be the ones that's gonna get the first dibs to move in. And it's like, damn, that shit is not like that. Because they said low income housing. I had just seen something about low income houses in the Crown Heights, and they said minimum fucking salary $71,000. Like, what? How is that low income housing? So that means that the medium, or how the way they break that shit, that the minimum income that's coming into the hood is $71,000, while you got a bunch of fucking people getting SSI checks. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember one time they had a study that they said Mother Gaston and Sutter is one of the poorest parts of the United States of America, in the top 3 or the top 5. But that shit generate money because niggas be out there slinging and banging and banging, and it generates money. It's just so crazy how like we come from an era of the free cheese era, and you had multi-millionaire crack dealers. For the neighborhood to be so fucking broke during that time when they called it Reaganomics, where, you know, the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer, like Nino Brown said, but the drugs just actually generated jobs because motherfuckers had 9 to 5s. People was like, yo, son, I gotta go to work. Son, you got a job? When you got a job? And you 14, you 15 years old, and this motherfucker got a bankroll in his fucking pocket that could choke a horse. And yo, son, what you doing? I'm just the lookout. What? You're just the lookout? You're not even the hand-to-hand man. You're not even cooking it. You're the lookout, and you getting a bankroll like that? You know, those was the times. But you know what? As I'm going on, those times that I think like in hip hop, where the crack cocaine and the AIDS dictated hip hop. Because I can go, where's my favorite album at? The 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of songs on there, After, and he's talking about, the RZA's talking about somebody catching AIDS. Ghostface Killer's talking about somebody catching AIDS and crack and things like that. And that shit really destroyed a generation of people when crack hit. That shit destroyed the hood. There's always a lot of stories of the kingpin. And there's no compassion on the house that was broken. And the kid that went crazy because his fucking moms ain't there. Dad can go. You need dad, but mom. A lot of mothers got destroyed, and you created the stick-up kid. You created the I don't give a fuck of things of that nature. What is that smoking over there? Is there anything smoking like that? Oh, that's the incense. My bad. Just looking.
Safety first.
Favorite hip hop movie. You know, wait a minute. Last week we had the graffiti. We had the graffiti, old school graffiti crew that was here last week, and it was so, the Lookout crew. I mean, it was so amazing that I'm 46 I seen B Street in 84. So that made me 12. So that's 34 years ago. And it's like, wow, you seeing the blacks and the Latinos that created this religion of hip hop. Here, the DJ, the rapper, the breaker, the popper, and the graffiti artist. And to have that element and have those blacks and Latinos that was here last week that actually tagged up a fucking train. I know as a child, like I told them, it was like, oh, grandma, look. Grandma, like, what the fuck wrong with them niggas doing that? Why they making this train look bad like this? I'm like, grandma, did that's art. I mean, it was a good picture. Not that it's just sprayed up like you just tagging your name or something. I'm talking about it was art, and it's like, damn, a motherfucker took time to do that. Like I'm sitting here at 46, but I remember at 8, 9, 10 years old, 11 years old, it's like, damn, the person that did that took their time to do that. And it's like to see some of the artwork that was here last week, it was so amazing. And I'm gonna jump back to my dead ass friend. What was crazy about that funeral, I remember this nigga Sate called me. It's like, yo, I think Son is dead. I'm like, Son can't be dead. He was like, yo, I think that you need to check on the internet and see, you know. And come to find out, my friend was laying dead on the New Jersey Turnpike. He got hit by a car 1 o'clock in the morning on May 6th. And that shit kind of rocked me. And the crazy part, could you bust me down that cigarette, brother? I remember when, thanks, man. I remember when the funeral proceedings was going on, and the crazy part of it, the fucking funeral ended up in Sake's mother's church. And I remember Sake calling back. He's like, yo, I ain't have nothing to do with this shit. He's like, I gotta come back to New York, because Sake was living in Virginia at this time. It's like, I gotta come back. How the fuck is this nigga funeral at my mother's church? And I remember Sake giving that nigga a prayer on his body, saying the prayer, because Sake was ordained to be a minister, you know, yah, with the other street shit, blah, 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 blah. But he was supposed to have been a minister. And he prayed on somebody, and I remember my son saying, yo, son, if I die before you, son. We would always have this hip-hop thing, and he would be like, yo, son, what song you want to hear when you die, son? What song you want me to play for you? I'm like, yo, son, you got to play Ice Cube, Dead Homies. That's my song. I love that song. He's like, yo, son, you got to play Mobb Deep. He said, Mobb Deep Shook Ones. And I played Mobb Deep Shook Ones on my phone inside that church, and I swear to God, you would have thought that it was a fucking speaker in Queensbridge. That's just for like some reason, the energy that was in the room, it just was that loud. It's like, I'm like, son, I know you hear it. The fucking pastor and the morticians was looking at me like I was fucking crazy. You know, that shit just really hit me, because that guy was like my brother. My grandmother loved me, but my grandmother liked him more. You know? And that shit bothered me a bit, man. Like, son, how the fuck you charmed the shit out of my grandmother? You done charmed all these women. You charmed my grandmother too. It's like, it's what it is, son. I charmed her too. But she loved him. She loved him. But we were always, our friendship was based on music. And our first time meeting, this is 1987 going into 88. And EPMD released the single It's My Thing first. And then You Got to Chill came, and then the EPMD album came out through Sleeping Bag Records came out at the time. And that's how our friendship was. Our friendship was we would sit down, we would listen, and we would analyze. We would analyze the music, word for word. Like one of the last songs I remember us hearing was Big Daddy Kane's Young, Gifted, and Black. When Big Daddy Kane is going at the artists from the 1970s, said like, yo, why is y'all bitching from us, you know, using the hip-hop sample? Y'all motherfuckers is getting paid and we bringing y'all back. But a lot of those artists at that time, they didn't care for rappers, you know, sampling shit. Look what James Brown caught on to down the line. Like, damn, y'all motherfuckers sample the shit out of my music like that. And I didn't get paid, I guess, through the break beats and everything like that until the corporations caught on like, yo, fuck that. It became, you know, a making thing right here. I'm gonna play another instrumental for y'all. It's from my man Yo Q. Let me cue it up. We back. You just heard the instrumental from my man Q. He's another producer that's down south at this time, and that's one of those songs that I'm gonna use for my one of them scripts that I wrote, whether it's Low Blocks, whether it's Emotional Homicide, or whether it's Black Raspberry. I'm gonna always think of my friends, and mainly my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Those childhood friends is just a different you want to help out your friends and shit like that. But I had wrote something down while I was at break, and there's two things I want to say. Suge Knight fucked up and Puff Daddy fucked up. I think that those two gentlemen, like I said, they had a big bang theory where y'all fucked up a lot of money. Suge, you especially fucked up a lot of money. Puff Daddy, you made a lot of money, but not even a lot of your artists came out rich. You know what I'm saying? Or well off. Everybody always had a problem and things like that. I mean, I don't know about French Montana, but some of y'all early artists that y'all had, they left out of there very bitter. All right, now let's top 5 producers. DJ Premier, Dr. Dre, The RZA, Large Professor, Marley Marl. I like Marley Marl from Mama Said Knock You Out when he had to bring L Cool J back. It's crazy that I'm mentioning L because I seen one of those interviews on TV, and I think it was Vlad or maybe it was the Drink Champs, and they were saying how L Cool J kind of got at niggas in Slow Down Baby. You know what I'm saying? And that was the song that was needed. That was the song that was needed for LL to make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? So, shout outs to L Cool J because, he did destroy cannabis when it came down there to that 4-3-2-1, even though he had to change his verse. A lot of people always say that Jay-Z is the God MC, and I respect Jay-Z raps, but L Cool J, he's cut from Run, and Run is cut from Curtis Blow. It's like Jesus and Joseph and Moses. Like that transition of this holy fucking blood, this holy bloodline of hip hop. But I'm happy that the money is being made. Let me jump to HBO right quick. I've been trying to catch up to this show, The Game of fucking Thrones. And I'm looking at the season 8 as it go on because this is the the final season, but I went back to like season 1, and a lot of people said that, well, why you into that? You know, you a Wire kind of guy, you a Oz kind of guy, you're a Sopranos kind of guy. I'm like, a good story is a good story, and I love historical events, because I love Conan the Barbarian, the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Earl Jones, because it's like a lot of shit is tied into the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and religious things. And last night they killed one of them motherfucking dragons. Last night they shot the shit out of that dragon. Like, wow, killed that motherfucker. And it's crazy because the Game of Thrones is, I think, is the highest watched TV show on premium cable, meaning the HBOs, the Showtimes, and the Stars. And Power by 50 Cent is number 3. So 50 Cent, he talks a lot of shit, but he's pulling in a powerful number behind a show that if you into filming and you went to school for it, you could take a guess to say like, yo, these motherfuckers spent a lot of money for that shit, for those episodes. Like whether it's the CTI motherfucker that's doing the computer generation on the edit, whether you gotta pay out, you gotta feed 100, 200, 300 fucking extras that you got out there, not including the people that you got on the show that's been on the show for 8 fucking years. You got a couple of them people, like at least 10, 15, 20 people that's been on the show since it started. And a lot of motherfuckers that got killed from season 1. Cause I'm looking at it like, wow, this little girl is a grown ass lady right now. So, you know, she survived a lot of shit. The Dark Knight, the White Knight, the Blue Knight, whatever what that shit is. Like, I mean, motherfuckers was on some Walking Dead shit that this last episode 3. But yesterday they killed those motherfucking dragons. Let me put in my top executives in hip hop. Wow. Russell Simmons is number 1. I'm going to go with Leo Cohen. I'm going to go with Rick Rubin. Then I'm going to go with Andre Harrell. Then I'm going to go to the dude at Cold Chillin'. Then I'm going to go to Suge Knight and Puff Daddy. Then I'm going to go to Rap A Lot. Then I'm going to go to Swab House. You know, a lot of those dudes put it in and tried to own their master recordings. You know, when you own the master recording, you have the power to repress and you just get a large chunk of money. Because you know what bugged me out? When I was looking at Ray with Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles in 1952, as he's rocking to the side, he said, I want to own my masters. He's like, what are you talking about, Ray? You can't own your masters. You can't do that. It's like not even Barry Gordy at the time. I mean Barry Gordy owned a large chunk, but you know, when this distribution, it's like the distributor, like, yo, I'm printing these shits up for you too, so I get a, you know, I get a chunk of that. But that's where I guess Suge Knight got that analogy. You always hear, if you're my age, you always heard Suge Knight always throw up, I own my masters. I own my master. They ain't gonna treat me like no slave. I own my master. And it's like Death Row was getting fucking paid. You know, Jimmy Iovine was like, yo, it's not heard of that. You record companies, you get paid in quarters. Every 4 quarters, you get a check. He was like, yo, I was giving Suge and Dr. Dre $10 million a month. I'm like, damn, well, if Death Row lasted for 4 years, that means 42 months, and you got $10 million a month, and 10 times 42 makes $420 fucking million. I remember when that first time when Suge Knight first got violated, he was like, yeah, I generated $1 billion. So how do you fuck that up? How did you let Tupac go over there and hit on that young man that you knew that kid was a shooter? You knew that kid was a murderer. You just knew that. And you allow fucking Tupac to go there and do that. You wasn't supposed to do that. You wasn't supposed to do that. You're supposed to just really kept your focus on Puff Daddy. But they said that Puff Daddy was coming out there seeing the Southside Crips. But if I'm coming to LA and I need security, if these motherfuckers are gonna be the security, that's just what it is. You know, but again, I don't know how I keep going back to that being so fucked up, because that was something that was really traumatizing. Let me jump to Mike Tyson. A lot of people always say, the older people, that Muhammad Ali is better than Mike Tyson. I don't think so. I think that Mike Tyson just had this rage. I think what made Muhammad Ali so great was the civil rights movement, and you joining the Nation of Islam, and you was one of those Negroes that was in the forefront of, I'm not going to no war. I'm not fighting those Vietnam people. They just as brown as me. I'm not doing that. So I guess his political stance, and of course his boxing. Let's not get it fucked up. Ali, if Ali didn't take that 5-year hiatus when they had suspended his license for dodging the draft, you know, maybe it'd have been something else, and Joe Frazier probably wouldn't have knocked his ass down the way that he did at Madison Square Garden, which it was a lot of pimps and hustlers and gangsters at that event in 1971. That's how Frank Lucas' ass got caught up, because he was wearing that fucking chinchilla coat in the front fucking row. And them federales was like, well, who the fuck is that nigga right there? I know Joe Louis, he's there because, you know, that's Joe Louis, but who the fuck is that nigga there? And, you know, Frank Lucas, you fucked your shit up for, you know, running out your mouth. What's the name? All right, let me jump to who held down the East Coast when the West Coast took rap. People always jump over Redman. The What album. That's the album that had Time for Some Action. That was the first album that came on Def Jam. You know, like people like really totally forget about that. Of course, you had Naughty by Nature with OPP bringing it back, but at that time, for some reason, a lot of artists on the East Coast didn't sell those albums like NWA did when NWA came out with Straight Outta Compton, and when Ice Cube had left. It's like that shit was guaranteed platinum. Like Brand Nubians. Like I always go to Brand Nubians, and it's like Brand Nubians was the shit, but you was the shit like in the tri-state area. No disrespect. I'm not disrespecting y'all. I'm talking about the other 47 fucking states. Because I'm talking about y'all had New York, y'all had Pennsylvania, y'all had Connecticut. Y'all did not sell those fucking records. It just didn't happen. I was in, you know what I'm saying? I was into it. The East Coast rappers didn't do it. Only but L Cool J. Only but EPMD. Only but Public Enemy post Run DMC. There wasn't a lot of rappers on the East Coast that were selling platinum records. I'm not saying that y'all lyrics was garbage. It's just that the consumer or the MTV watcher at the time, because a lot of Negroes didn't have cable, at the time, those white people in middle America flocked over to the West Coast. You know, I mean, like, come on, like Eazy-E. I mean, I know that MC Ren and I know the DOC and Ice Cube was writing your rhymes, but you just knew, like, this nigga is not Kool G Rap. Like, Kool G Rap, if Kool G Rap would have came out on the West Coast, I think Kool G Rap would have made it. If Kool G Rap was a West Coast artist, he would have made it, because Kool G Rap was too far ahead of his time and what he was talking about. And then when he came out with that 456 album, the 456 album got overshadowed by the Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, and Biggie Smalls. So it's like when Kool G Rap finally had like something that would have been so commercialized, it would have went somewhere. He got caught up in the beef with Cold Chillin' going through Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers had beef with Tupac and Death Row. Like, we not distributing no more gangster rap. So it's like Kool G Rap got caught up in the shit and went to Epic, and Epic, you know, it's a lot of political shit that, you know, that kind of just, you know, fucked up G Rap's his rap career with shit. So best hip hop group. It's like I can't include Run DMC. I can't include the Beastie Boys. I can't include the Fat Boys. They're gods. I can't include them. They're too there. So I go down to EPMD, Outkast, Wu-Tang Clan. You know, like when Death Row came with the Dog Pound. You know, those groups. But it's like, dude, can you compare them to, you know, Run DMC and them like that? But it's like, I don't think that I actually I can do that. You know what's another thing? It was a couple of weeks ago we was talking about what is your favorite movie you like to watch? Like, one of my favorite movies that I love to watch is Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is my favorite fucking movie. Cause I remember when that movie came out, the movie wasn't big, but it got big from word to mouth. The way Mel Gibson was shooting his gun, that was the one thing everybody in the hood, you know what I'm saying, it came back and was talking about. Yo, son, yo, Mel Gibson is shooting his gun. He's shooting at a helicopter, son, and he's shooting it. I'm like, did he shoot the helicopter? No. He hit the guy in the helicopter, but the way he was shooting the gun, and it's like, wow, everybody just flocked to it, and it became a hit. That was me in the in the 8th grade at the time. But right quick, you know, I'm here by myself, and we're gonna go to another song. You got it, baby?
My peripheral will see you scheming.
Through my peripheral, I'm watching them.
Through my peripheral will see you scheming.
I see you hating ass niggas scheming. We doing it, baby. Let's go. Through my peripheral, I'm watching them plotting. Your boys nice with the gun work, keeping them popping. I'm big worm, fed out the apple, dirty and rotten. All my life I've been a bad boy. Watch where I stop it. Me and my comrades ready for combat. If you don't want a problem, boy, you better calm that. Respect the line, fucker, get caught at the crossroads. We can't lose, nigga, I'll bite off an earlobe. Welcome to my humble abode, the land of the lost. When niggas swallow pride, you survive by any cost. But cops is killing niggas with excessive and deadly force. In the wrong neck of the woods, showing them jewels off. You don't know none of these dudes, so stop talking that talk. Put yourself in my shoes and I swear you couldn't walk. See, these niggas got the balls, but they ain't got the smarts. Like a nigga with a gun, but he ain't got the heart. To my niggas on the run that been here from the start, like Cillian color purple, the line will never part.
Through my peripheral will see you scheming.
Only thing real niggas respect is long dough, so connects come slow. If you copping just one O, everybody wanna blow, but niggas don't wanna pop. So I'm sending faggots to hell and the devil red drop, trying to cop more than before and tour 50 states with one pair of clothes and a digital plate. These niggas talking like they cake really bake in the oven, and when you put them on the spot, they look at you like you bugging. I'm like, fuck them, they hate a nigga loving his life. No, if given the opportunity, they plugging my wife. Niggas the shites when you let them be, especially the bum type. Twist L's with you one day, plotting the next night. It's alright, cause I can make a call on the celly and have niggas in your crib like meth did in Belly.
Through my peripheral will see you scheming.
I see him. Yo, it's like when they spot you, they got you.
Shh, what's up, people? You just heard my peoples, Yo Q, TJ, and Peanut by way of Brownsville. Them niggas moved down to North Carolina. My peripheral was the song, and my brother here, he just brought up the fight that happened Saturday with Canelo and Jacobs, and it's like, I just want to say, it's like, yo, Jacobs, you done lost to Canelo and fucking Triple G, where every time I have heard somebody talk, I seen the Triple G fight, and I thought that you probably outpunched him. You probably did, but it's like, everybody said that you had a chance, but you just don't. And Canelo right now is on a fucking hot streak. You know, he's running with the Golden Boy. So, you know, and I like Oscar De La Hoya. That was one of my favorite boxers at the time. But it's crazy. Canelo had actually lost to Floyd Mayweather. Well, what weight did they fight at when Mayweather fought Canelo? What, that would be like 155? 150? It was catch weight. Oh, okay. Wow. That also was a good fight. But Canelo is a bull. He reminds me of Roberto Duran, and he reminds me of that Julio Cesar Chavez, the father Chavez, the one that was winning all them goddamn fights back in the days when Mike Tyson was fighting, because that dude was also managed by Don King at the time. Best Wu-Tang album. What would be my best Wu-Tang album? I want to say into the 36 Chambers. I will go with Into the 36 Chambers. I will go with the Cuban Links album. I will go with Old Dirty Bastards. Returning to 36 Chambers. Just about all the Wu-Tang, peace, brother. Just about all the, what's up, brother? just about all the Wu-Tang albums, I love. They give that NYC that NYC appeal to it. You know, I love that. That's one of the things that I'll be debating. You know, I also debated back in the days what was a better breakdance movie, B Street or Breaking. They're like, yo, son, why you like Breaking? I'm like, I love B Street too, but you know what I'm saying? Breaking, you start to see the West Coast, I guess, adapting to the culture, or they always adapt to the culture. You know, the pop and lock thing. You know how the way you remember what was that guy named Rerun? When Rerun used to do his pop and the lock thing, and that guy Ozone was a part of that crew that used to do that pop and lock thing. So if I seem a little bit off course, you know, but I'm here by myself, people. And Mama, I hope that you looking, and I appreciate you. Like after the show goes off and everything like that, you do be calling me and you do critique me on what's what's good, because you know I went to school for this, and when I was going to school for it, we had the monitors in the back, so it was kind of easy to just read shit while you looking into the camera. But you know, I did 20 years in a 2-year school at BMCC, and I'm proud of it. I don't care. I learned a lot. I got a lot of credits when I went over to Brooklyn College. They was like, wow, you could jump into any major you want. So I'm happy I did that, Mama. You know. Shout out to my nephew. He just graduated from Florida University. He's also in the ROTC program, and he's a sniper. So you know, if he's called to duty, you get that. If he's called to duty, and you know Mr. Trump sends him over across land somewhere, and he's needed, that boy gonna be popping some fucking heads off there, you know. But that's just the army. The how can I say, to defend capitalism and free. Donald Trump, they said that he did not like that Facebook came at Farrakhan and the KKK. A democracy is not going to survive without free speech. Like, what would hip hop be without fuck the police? You gotta have fuck the police. That's what the country is geared on. Is geared on protest. That's the First Amendment, the right to free fucking speech, the press and gathering and something like that. You know, it's like you can't do that because it's a privately owned company or it's not monitored by the government. Nah, y'all motherfuckers be giving a lot of information over to the government. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people should have that right to choose, but I guess that sometimes some speech can ignite some shit. Speech can ignite some shit because, hey, they said that Minister Farrakhan gave a speech about how Malcolm X crossed up Elijah Muhammad, and you see what happened with that, you know. So sometimes when you have a leader so powerful, their words can move a motherfucker, and the motherfucker's going out there killing somebody. So I can understand that, but I don't think that you should you're hindering free speech. You just can't do that. It's like, then that's the case, then you might as well snatch off the fucking president of the United States with the shit that he be kicking. You know what I'm saying? It don't be so blatantly and directive, but it be some indirective racial shit. And it's like, damn, Trump used to fuck with Don King and Mike Tyson and shit, but it's like, damn, look how the way you did that shit with the Central Park 5. Those boys was acquitted of rape. Say could tell you when them kids came into the island, because I was hearing from other people saying, it was like, your son, we gave it to the motherfuckers when them motherfuckers came on the island 1989 when that rape charge happened, and they said that white woman got hit in the head with a brick and she got raped. And they got acquitted of that shit. Y'all gave them a bullshit fee of money, and they had to split that shit up 5, 6, 7 fucking ways, you know. And it's like, damn, Trump, you was really racial about that because you took out another 2-page ad out the New York Post saying that they should still be in jail. It's like, damn, the man admitted to the crime and where her underwear was at and how he hit her in the head and where exactly he left her fucking panties at. And it's like, damn, you still couldn't forgive. Not saying forgive, it's like you exonerate, and it's fucked up. But free press. Again, a motherfucker has that right to just go out there and just say, say what he want to say. I'm a little drunk, y'all. Temperatures are getting a little bit hot. What else I wanted to touch on? AIDS. Let me touch on AIDS right quick. I remember as a kid and me seeing one of my friend's mother. She started smoking that shit and she caught that shit. And I remember within 5 or 6 fucking months, his mother turned into the Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. That's just something, that's just one of those thoughts that shit always fuck with me. It's like we could never forget about those people that died. And I'm so happy, regardless if it was a white man or a black man, that y'all created some kind of medication to slow up the replication of that virus, that germ virus, for some reason that hit blacks and Latinos. Like, how the fuck did that shit hit us so hard and everybody fucks? Everybody has sex. Why did it hit us so hard? Which, it hit the gay white man first, as they say, and it just, spread it like that. But even the gay white man, it's like human life, like, you could dig into it. Gallo and, Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger, and with their depopulation control, like Thanos. Thanos wanted to keep the balance in the fucking universe. You really have people out there that's like, yo, some life on planet Earth must be destroyed because you're going to use up all the human resources of the planet. If the planet is overpopulated, where are we going to get the resources? Like, how many fucking cows you going to keep slinging for $1 hamburgers? Those shits ain't fucking beef no more. How many cows are you producing? You got 80,000 McDonald's across the fucking country, and you selling hamburgers for $1, and y'all making a profit off that shit. That shit is not always beef. I don't know how we jumped to McDonald's to AIDS, but it's just we talking about population control and the resources of the planet. I want to touch on what was one of my favorite hip hop songs I heard that just really rocked me. I want to go with the Audio 2 Milk is Chillin'. The Audio 2 Milk is Chillin'. I go with KRS-One, Down With Us. That shit that hit me. I go with Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg's 187. That one just hit me. I go with Run DMC's The King of Rock. That shit was just extravagant. I go with Eric B. and Rakim's Paid in Full. That was a good one. And then I guess you go on with the Raw Basin. This is for the radio, as hip hop, started to make its transition in the 1988, 89, which a lot of people said like the golden era of hip hop is about like 1986 to 1992. That's supposed to be like the golden age of hip hop music, when just the golden age. You had the Native Tongues, De La Soul, and the Leaders of the New School, and Moni Love, and Queen Latifah, and 783. And we give a shout out to Sean Bolden. You know what? Since I'm talking about Sean Bolden right quick, I only got 10 minutes left. And a lot of people be like, well, what kind of I'm gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this one up early. What kind of hip hop experience you have, Lorenzo? Before I graduated out of BMCC in my 20th year for my 2-year degree, I jumped into VAT. They changed it from video they just changed it into Video Arts Technology, but I had to do an internship, and I ended up getting a fucking internship at TVT Records. And TVT Records had Little John, they had fucking the Yin Yang Twins, they had Pit fucking Bull and Yo Gotti. And I'm looking at these motherfuckers right now, and Pitbull, Yo Gotti, and Little John has a fucking grip. It went in terms of money. Not in the terms of my hip hop that I like, but in the terms of money. I was doing radio promotions for TVT Records. And the song that I was email blasting, that's clicking and clicking, please play the song, was Snap Your Fingers. I came in when Snap Your Fingers was out. And I remember Sean Bolden, he interviewed me. He was like, yo, I'm looking at your resume and I see you from 11212. And he said, tell me about yourself. I said, well, you know, I'm from the block where if you get in your ass whooped, you got to bite a motherfucker in his face to change the direction of the fight. So you know I'm from Amboy where Mike Tyson is at. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to give you the job. Because he was from East New York. And he mentioned the A-Team. So he was like, yo, we share the same blocks, Blake Avenue, Sutter Avenue, Pickens Avenue. But as the time went on, he was like, yo, Lorenzo, don't come back. He said, I'm going to give you a B+ grade. I'm going to send the grade to BMCC, and I'm going to give you a B+. I'm like, yo, Sean, I was really expecting that Crush Groove experience. He was like, Lorenzo, it changed. He was like, yo, this shit changed. It's not so New York City anymore. The first song that I heard that I knew that rap was leaving out of New York was To the Windows, to the Wall, to the Sweat My Balls. I'm walking down the block and it was a block party, and I'm walking to the grill to get me some food, and I'm noticing everybody on the porches and the old people and the young people are jumping up. I'm like, y'all didn't jump up like this when Cream was out by the Wu-Tang Clan. I didn't see that hypeness. It's like, wow, this shit done changed. Like, is it the beat? I'm not disrespecting y'all words. We're going to wrap that up. We're going to end it. I'm tired. I got a song. We're going to fade it out because I'm tired. Ooh.
When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job.
Yo, y'all people can find me on Facebook as Hapius Lorenzo Andrews Corpus, and you can find me on Instagram at Brownsville_America, and that's where you can find me at. Peace. I don't know if it's love and soul. Peace out, people, and vote for me when I get my ass on that ballot. Peace.
Mumble rapper, then there's fucking boots in your face. Eat my chucker streets lovers. Side block, sure shot, monster, think something Walker. Situation to get Walker. Fuck a sprinter, nigga, we jumping out and talking. Hardest niggas in New York come from Brownsville or Yonkers.
When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job.
Dots, hoes, hookers, baggers, cutters, lookers, shooters, pushers, cookers, Bella from the bookers, getting head from a cougar. I'm up before the roosters, money move, all it bird, the worm, the late one is the losers. Wake and bake, then I juice up, push up, dips, pull ups. Park sets back to check my upper body built up. I rose from the filth, exposing all my guilt. Sit and stay, get the chills, buffalo nights wrapped in whip. Standing tall like I'm on stilts, ballin' like a whip. City on tilt, I never will kill. We foozy new rules, disrespectfully. I respect me, too much fuckery for the money. No label can hit me, no fashion can trip me, no manager can rip me. Y'all can't convince me. Fuck a sprinter, nigga, we jumping out and talking. Hardest niggas in New York come from Brownsville or Yonkers.
When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job.
You are now tuned into Bossman Cut Beats. You are now tuned into Bossman Cut Beats.